All right, we are experiencing some technical difficulties right now. Please stay tuned. Just one moment, and here we go. We are live. Yay! All right, welcome to tonight's Parents Family Table Talk. We are excited to have the Honors College joining us this evening. And before we get started, for those who are new to our stream, my name is Alicia Newell, and I have the privilege of serving as the Assistant Vice President for Student Affairs. I am a proud alum of the university, been here for about 20 years. And as a first generation college student, this series is really important to me because it really helps our families understand what they need to know in time as they prepare their students for this new journey. And so at Wichita State, we're really proud to say that we are a first generation destination for many of our students. And knowing that half of our student population is first generation, it's nice to be able to have the experts from many different aspects around campus come and talk to our students about what they can expect within these next couple of weeks or months leading up to the first semester, and just try to give that guidance. And so I'm going to throw it over to my colleague Kim to introduce herself, and then we're going to jump into everything honors and more.
Hi, everyone. It's nice to virtually see you all again. As Alicia said, my name is Kim Sandlin. I serve as the Director of Student Success here. So I see many families through the orientation process and work with Alicia very close on a day-to-day basis, it seems like sometimes, especially in the summertime as we're welcoming our new families to campus. So I too am an alumna of the university. I've been working here for 25 years, working with new students, all 25 of those years, but specifically with orientation, about 23 of those. So we've seen a lot. We've heard a lot. We have been asked nearly everything under the sun. So even if you're joining us for tonight, and maybe your student is in the honors program, maybe they are, thinking about it, considering the Honors College, maybe they're considering, why might I want to, have this? Is it harder? Is it all those common questions that we hear? We're going to talk about all of that tonight, and we're going to be able to help you decide if this is the right place for you as a possibility, or solidify your choice in being part of the Honors College. And so at this point, I think I'll throw it over to our Dean, Dean Engber from our Honors College, I think, to get us started. So I'll let you guys take it from here.
Thank you, Kim. So Kim gave me just a small introduction. I'd like Andrew Myers to introduce himself first, and then I'll give a little bit more of an intro of myself. So Andrew, would you start?
Yeah. I'm Andrew Myers, and I'm the Director of Scholarships and Student Services in the Cohen Honors College, and been at Wichita State for quite some time. And excited to be here and talk more about the opportunities and experiences you will get with joining, or if you're already a member of the Cohen Honors College.
Thank you, Andrew. So that gives you a little bit of a taste of the resources. I will say Andrew doesn't celebrate himself all the time. So I will say just a little bit more as well. Not only does Andrew serve in our college as an advisor specifically for honors students, he also has his degree, his master's in communications here from Wichita State University, and he is a filmmaker. And not just on the side. He is working on a film right now. So if you have any interest in film, and particularly in horror, you should have a separate conversation with Andrew about that, or encourage your students to stop by his office, where they also can see all of his action figures and movie posters. So I want to give you that kind of image of honors just to set your thinking a little bit. We have a faculty member in political science who says honors is not what you think it is. So I want you to hold on to that idea as well. So my name is Kimberly Engber. I have the privilege of serving as the Dean of the Dorothy and Bill Cohen Honors College. My background is in American literature. So I came in 17 years ago into Wichita State in the English department to teach American literature. And now I've been with honors actually 11 years. So full time, starting with the program, and then as we became an honors college. And you may be thinking all this time that we're talking, what does that even mean? What is an honors college? So whether your student, as Kim said, has already applied to honors, is already thinking of themselves as a Wichita State University honors student, or if you're coming to this brand new and you're thinking, what does that mean to go into college and then to have this thing that's called an honors college? We are going to address a broad range of questions, and we're going to leave time for you to ask us questions as well. So I want to start with a big, broad question. When you hear the word honors, what words come to mind? And you're welcome to think about this on your own without sharing. Also, we invite you to drop some words into the comments section. If you have a word that immediately comes to mind when you think about honors, and I would invite my colleagues here to do the same. Now, they have a little bit of background in this, but I think they also know sometimes what students think honors is. And you may be thinking things like, it's advanced work, it's harder work, it's students who care about academics. All of those things are true. They're not the only things that are true about honors. We like to say honors at Wichita State is more meaningful work. And we're going to try to unpack what that means for us. What does it mean for students to engage in not just more work, but actually more meaningful work? And what are all of the ways that we engage students through the Honors College? So the Honors College is intended to be an academic resource center for a broad range of students, really students all across campus. And then there are particular benefits for students who are pursuing a curriculum distinction in honors. So next slide, I want to say just a little bit about what is honors by the numbers. We have about 650 students who identify as honors students currently. They're following up to 90 or 92, we say right now, different areas of study. So a student in any major can also be an honors student on our campus. We engage somewhere around 65 faculty from across campus each year. They might be teaching an honors course within their department. They may be like Dr. Brady, who's teaching a sequence of honors calculus courses or honors differential equation. They might be like Mariah Beck, who's leading the first year research experience, which is an honors workshop that's open to all students across campus by application. And then they're placed as well in a lab to engage in research in the spring semester of their first year. So we have faculty who are engaged in honors in various ways. We have an average 15-to-1 student to faculty ratio in honors courses, and this really means some of our special topics honors seminars. So we have honors seminars in things like history beyond the headlines, the dynamic universe. These are special topic seminars, most of which meet also general education requirements, but really are about engaging students in some discussion-based environments limited to honors students. And the other by the numbers that we like to lead with is that we have a special scholarship that we call the Cohen Enhancement Scholarship, which was really the centerpiece of the gift from Dorothy and Bill Cohen, that allows honors students to apply for up to $4,000 of scholarship funding for applied learning. So study abroad, research, national student exchange, certain kinds of unpaid internships. We offer a scholarship for honors students to engage in those things outside of the classroom that will build their career capacity and stretch their horizon. Next slide. We talk about honors resources that start with an honors student space in Shocker Hall. So whether your student is living on campus or off, they would have 24-hour access to that lounge space with study areas, with a kitchen, with a microwave for cooking ramen, with coffee and other late night kinds of study aids, and free printing. You'd be surprised by how much students still print. The free printing, if a student is running to class and they just want to print off their PowerPoint, or they need to have a music score, Honors College to honors students offers unlimited free printing. And we have honors academic advising. So I want to turn it over to Andrew Myers to say a little bit more about how honors academic advising works and what's so great about it, because he really loves this part of his job.
Yeah, I like it because we get to know students, and our first question is what are your goals? What are your academic goals? What are your career goals? What's your next step? We like to start there and then move backwards and see how your university honors minor, which is 18 credit hours, can help you to achieve those goals, right? And so there are a number of ways to do that. We do require an honors topic seminar. We also offer a number of opportunities within undergraduate research and design thinking. And we also then have about 12 credit hours then of, you can kind of piece together whether it is a honors course, so it has that HNRS prefix. Maybe it's a departmental honors, so it has an H at the end of it. So it's offered at one of the academic departments, which can also be also a gen ed or something that counts towards your major or other minor. Or we have something called the honors option agreement, where you can take almost any course, or even I've seen internships and the like, where you can do an honors option agreement with that faculty and have it turned into an honors class, right? So you're not completely limited, and that's the nice thing, is having that academic freedom to help you then pursue those goals that we talked about in our first initial meetings. The other thing that I like is that I get to work alongside all the other academic advisors in the different colleges. And so it's that dual advising kind of an experience. And so you can have an appointment with your academic advisor, like in one stop. And as you move forward within your academic college, you can also meet with me. And I can kind of see, what have you all talked about, and how can we take what you've talked about there and then attach like an honors experience to it. So I really enjoy that. We have a lot of opportunities for applied learning. The dean talked about the Cohen Enhancement Scholarship to help you to potentially pay for some of those applied learning experiences. So I've worked with students who have, we have a travel seminar that goes to Paraguay, and actually they're right now. And a lot of different opportunities with that. The other cool thing is that with enrollment, you get first dibs, right? So registration every year is typically going to be that first day is going to be seniors, and then it's going to be juniors and sophomores, etc. But as an honor student, you get to enroll on that first day. So let's say, especially if there's a class that you need to take a particular semester, chances of it filling up with you enrolling that first day are slim to none.
Thanks, Andrew. Mm-hmm. So all honors incoming students who have become members of the Honors College are now brought into what we call the Honors Colloquium. And that's where we introduce students to each other, to some of the honors faculty and the staff who are within the college to support those students. And that Honors Colloquium is a gathering of all incoming honors students. We had about 140 last year. They meet twice a semester in the fall and in the spring. And we also ask them to complete an electronic portfolio that is about holding on to some of the experiences that they had throughout their first year and asking them to reflect on the challenges they encountered, how they overcame those challenges, what were some highlights of their first year, because we know that reflection on your work and reflection on your ability to understand your own strengths and some of your challenges is one of those great predictors for your career capacity, even beyond where you are in your education. So that honors colloquium is a space kind of really about connection. And we're continuing to work with honors alum and faculty across campus, resources across campus, to bring them into that colloquium space and create a dynamic first year experience for our honors students. Speaking of dynamic experiences, on the next slide, there's some information about what we call signature experiences within honors. So I started with that question, what is honors? Certainly, we think of honors as about an academic experience. You've heard some about what kinds of courses students can do and can earn honors credits. We talked about a curriculum distinction, the university honors that goes on their diploma and that goes on their transcript. So that's still at the heart of what we do within honors. It's not the only thing that honors is for students. So Andrew mentioned that you may choose as an honors student to have an area of emphasis that's an interdisciplinary area, such as leadership or law and public policy. And we encourage students to engage with some signature experiences within honors. So a couple of examples of those. We are able also to fund a Lead for Tomorrow Leadership Academy, which right now is an intensive summer experience that engages a group of up to 15 students with a group of 4 to 5 faculty from across disciplines. And they are all working on the same theme. They're bringing in content from areas like industrial engineering, design thinking, psychology, and organizational leadership. And those students then, after some time with this content with the different faculty, travel away to a different city, and they volunteer, they engage in service, and they observe. And they're observing what's happening within some nonprofit, community-based kinds of organizations in cities like Memphis, for example. They went to Portland, Maine. And they bring that back, combined with the knowledge that they're gaining with those faculty, and they are working on problems that have been posed to them by community-based organizations in Wichita. So Big Brothers Big Sisters, First Tee, which is a golf, bringing golf to youth organizations, Habitat for Humanity. And the course culminates in a pitch or a proposal to those community-based or community organizations based on all of this experience that the students have had in the classroom and outside of the classroom. A similar experience, and I'll make this a very brief description, but there's much, much more. Bill's Trip, which stands for Building Investment in Lifelong Leadership and Service, takes place at a national park right now every January. And our signature park right now is the Grand Canyon. So similar students who are engaging in service and who are learning some leadership theories and working to apply those theories. So honors extends from the classroom out into the world, and we're able to at least partially fund some of these experiences. We fully fund the travel for both of these, what we call signature experiences within honors. So on the next slide, we have a video that we will be sending out about our honors colloquium. I'm not going to play it right now because I think the sound is actually not great. I did in this format, I did a little bit of test on my own computer. So we'll move to the next slide. So I asked you at the very beginning, when you hear the word honors, what comes to mind? And I'd like you to take a moment to think about, based on everything you've now heard, when you hear the word honors, what words come to mind? And what I hope, and again, you can drop a comment in the chat if you want to join the chat, or you can just think about this a little bit. My hope is that what you're hearing is we want students to grow from challenging experiences in the classroom to leadership in the world around them. And as Andrew said, we really work to create a path for those students through honors, so that honors on the curricular side can become a vehicle for them to explore their strengths. And it can be a vehicle for them to explore areas such as leadership and really combine those kinds of skills and experiences that are going to increase their capacity. So honors is not only in the classroom. Like all of what we do at Wichita State, we really are most excited when students connect what they're doing in the classroom to that world that extends beyond the classroom. On the next slide.
I see John mentioned more in depth earlier, mentioned a higher education base, and it really is. We also say our courses are deeper, broader, and more complex. So spot on.
Yeah, perfect. That's great. Just to introduce a couple of places where you can go for some broad information. So at wichita.edu/new honors, we have some information for our incoming honors students that kind of packages some of the pieces that we've presented for you today, and shows what some of the next steps are in that honors journey. And then our current honors students information, which includes curriculum information, links to our advising webpage, and other kinds of opportunities, some of the scholarship opportunities. So that's wichita.edu, and it's /current honors students. And the final slide, not yet in honors. So some of you may be just exploring this with us today, and I'll say a couple of things about that. One, we often say to students, there's not a lot of reason not to apply, and there's every reason to apply to join, because it unlocks for those students a lot of other benefits, like the study space, like the scholarships. And there are ways for students to try out honors. So if you have a student who's not yet ready to commit, they've done all kinds of applications and they are done with the application process at this point, we invite them to reach out to us at honors@wichita.edu if they want to try out an honors course. And that's open to any student that they may request to try an honors course. Andrew, were you going to add?
Yeah, we've had students and they try out one of our classes, and they just like, why didn't I join this in the first place? Because a lot of those misconceptions happen, right? That they think, well, I've got to do all this extra work, but it's actually statistically honors or students do better in honors courses than they do regular classes, because they're a little bit more, like John pointed out, in depth and more conversation based. So.
We also believe that one of the best things that we can do for students is to lead them or help them to find other students who are going to challenge and support them. And our hope is always, when we bring a student into a 15-person honors course, that they are connecting with those other students. Or if they're living in the residence hall and their next door neighbor is also an honors student, that they're making plans to go study down in the honors college on Thursday nights. So it's really our goal as we bring these students together in places like colloquium or in some of these smaller classroom environments, that they really are connecting with each other, because those are the people they're going to know for the next 4 years and beyond, right? So in honors, there is a separate application for admission. It asks students to write an essay and submit information about their activities, and it pulls in information about their academic record. We do not have a minimum test score or GPA score for admission. We do look at academic record as part of our evaluation. We place more emphasis on that essay, which is really asking students to think about where they are strong and to think about where they still have opportunities to grow. So you can hear how we're really asking students to engage in some self-evaluation. We're looking for students who want to take on challenges and who want to make a positive impact on the community. So you can find more information on our website, wichita.edu/honors, or you can contact us, honors@wichita.edu. And I will pause there.
Perfect. We have, I was going to put in here, for some of our families, we like to do various drawings throughout our thing, just to see, to get a little bit more participation and engagement. But one of the questions that I had is, what would you say the ratio of students are in the classes within honors? That's always one of the challenges that some of our students is, am I going to be in a really large class, or is this a little bit more intimate? And if they feel like, hey, this is a little overwhelming or more than I thought, what additional support is available in the Honors College?
Andrew, do you want to take that?
Yeah. No, yeah. And typically, at least for our honors courses that have that HNRS prefix in front of it, we like to limit it to 15. So there's usually going to be about 15 students in that particular class. And then those H sections, so you've got maybe a class that's a departmental class. Still, there's not going to be as many students that are taking the honors portion of that. And so it is more engaging in that way. And I wouldn't say, Wichita State in general has a whole bunch of huge classes, right? And so that's one of the nice things about Wichita State too. You can look at it as, as you move on in your academic career and you get deeper into your major, you're going to get to that 15, 20 mark in some of your courses. And it's going to be similar to that. And also thinking of that in the sense of, and it's also going to be a little bit more engaging because you're deep into a topic that you are really kind of interested in, right? And so when we have these unique offerings of these honors topic seminars that can count for a gen ed, like the dynamic universe or Big Bang and black hole and the fate of the universe, or like I mentioned, history beyond the headlines, where your textbook is 2 different newspaper subscriptions, right? So, and you're looking at what's going on currently, there's just a lot that is a little bit more, can we kind of bring that information down to a finer point? And so it's challenging you then to ask questions. And I know a lot of students aren't used to that in the high school classroom setting, right? So you're going to have to open up a little bit and ask challenging questions. And some of our courses, like some of our first year honors courses, right, really kind of dig deep into community and dig deep into a lot of different things in terms of like inclusivity. And so it's going to be a great way for you to kind of explore yourself as well.
So Andrew, can you talk about your approach to advising? Because Alicia was asking a little about supports for students within honors.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, as an advisor and also as obviously the lead advisor and like the only advisor, right? So, but I have a connection with different committees on campus, whether it's with student services or student success, and different things like with the care team. And so we have this connection of people, which is a phenomenal group of individuals that I get to work with at Wichita State. And I know that I can either text or call or send a Teams message to Alicia and say, hey, I've got this student that is struggling, or I can reach out to a care team member that's assigned to the Honors College, right? So there's these different aspects there. And actually, some of that stuff is just down the hall from us in Shocker Hall. So I've literally walked a student down that hall to see if I can get that student some help, right? And so I know that I can do that. And so we offer those opportunities. The other thing is that I get you connected to all the other different kinds of resources that sometimes students don't realize that they have access to. And so I just try to ask those kind of open-ended questions. And maybe it's because I teach a class called Strategic Interviewing Methods. I don't know. But I'm able to figure out, and I like to connect students to, oh, you should talk to this person, or you should talk to this person. But really, the other thing is that there's no better resource than our current honor students. And we have a student council, right? We have a programming board. We also have our Honors LLC. We've got these different organizations within the Honors College. We have our Honors College ambassadors. And so we have these students that have had some of those similar experiences who are willing to talk to you about it from an honors perspective.
So I have a question here. Can you break it down to, I don't know what an HNRS prefix is. I don't know what the H is afterwards. I'm already enrolled. And now I think I want to maybe try the honors course. What do I do? And what does all of that mean in terms of the title of the course and how to recognize that? Just kind of in the weeds a little bit for just a couple of minutes.
Sure. So like maybe you've already enrolled in a class that says PSY in front of it, which is short for psychology, right? And or BIOL, short for biology, right? All these prefixes for the different departments. And so HNRS is honors. And so if it has that HNRS in front of it, it's a course that's offered by the Honors College. That H at the end is determined as a departmental honors. Okay, so if you had that same PSY, so if you had psychology 111 H, so the regular would just be 111, then the H would be the honors part, and that's where we talk about doing that deeper, broader, more complex, right? So it's going to be taking a bit of a deeper dive into that subject material. Maybe they pick one particular part of that topic and they do a little bit more. Okay, so if you're not already in the Honors College and like, I want to try out an honors class, that's going to be one of the ones from the Honors College. So it's going to have that HNRS prefix. And you can go on to our website. When you go to the wichita.edu/honors, and there's that section menu drop down, you can go to the forums directory and you can find information there, or on the new students, or there's different ways to do it. There's a form where you click on it to request to try out an honors class for that particular semester. And then what we can do is if we give you permission to do that, we can go in and give you special permissions to enroll from our end.
So one of the easy ways to reach us is always honors@wichita.edu. And that will get you anything. If you have any interest at all, I would just say, send an email over to honors@wichita.edu, or stop by Shocker Hall. Or Andrew tends to drink the fruit infused water at the orientations. So see,
someone has to.
That's right.
You know?
If you see Andrew, just flag him down and just ask him.
And I like I get an email from a student who's like, I would like to know more about honors. I would rather meet with you than do that over email. So I'm either going to do that however works for you. If it's in person, great. If it's over the phone, great. Virtual. I'd rather set up a meeting, a designated time to talk to you, at least like 30 minutes. And so I think that it's better kind of like back and forth, so I can really kind of get an idea I ask a lot of open-ended questions. So that's better not done over email.
I see we have a question from a student who's asking, as an honors student, So welcome. It's awesome to see you. So do you have to have at least one course with H&RS or H to stay in honors? So what is active standing in honors? And we ask that you take at least one course a year in honors to be in active standing. And we also ask that you maintain a 3.25 GPA in order to graduate with honors. We don't dismiss you immediately if you don't have the 3.25 GPA. This is also where Andrew comes in. So he reaches out to those students who are falling out of active standing in honors, asks that you come in, you talk with him about your academic plan and what you are doing in order to get back into that active standing. The point is that you keep aspiring forward. And that's what we want to be partners with you to do. So the answer is yes. We say one course a year that is designated as honors, either a seminar that we offer or with that H, which is a department course, or a course that you turn into an honors course by entering an agreement with a faculty person.
Yeah, you can approach a faculty and so say I typically tell students, don't pick a general education class that you're not really that interested in to turn into honors. I really want to turn this math class into it. I'm an English major. Pick something within your degree or your minor, and we give you if you need some tips on how to ask that question, we do have it on the website. But again, please meet with me. And you talk to them. It's like, hey, I would really like to turn this class into an honors class. What would that look like? Because again, that's up to the faculty. And I've seen students like in the human anatomy class where they cover 4 different sections of the medical field, and they're to interview 4 physicians in those areas and come up with a PowerPoint presentation at the end, right? So that's deeper into what you're getting to know, and it's actually helping you, especially if that's a course you need to take. A lot of students do in the College of Health Professions. Or I've seen, we're going to pick this particular topic within economics, and you're going to write a 5 to 10 page paper on that particular subject, right? So it runs the gambit, really. But it's up to that faculty, and they know what it would be to turn that class into honors.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that I probably love most about the honors program. I am a huge advocate of everything honors. We've had some phenomenal students who have graduated from your program. And the one thing that is probably consistently said over time is that it's a personable experience. And it's an experience that really a student is able to tailor to what their desires and outcomes are. And so I like what you said, Andrew, like, hey, pick a class that you really enjoy and turn it into an honors course, right? And being able to have those conversations with the faculty to really dig deeper and to go, to that next level within a specific area of interest. And I can't really speak enough about the staff in this particular college because just like Andrew said, like it's one thing to have a sense of belonging, not only with the institution, but within your own academic college of like, my people know who I am. Walking into the Honors College, I hear first name basis. How are you doing today, Andrew? How are you doing today, Kim? And it's so nice because they know who you are. You're not just another number on campus. And I think that's really where students begin to thrive, is having that sense of connection and sense of belonging, right? And connectivity, not only with their faculty, but with one another in those spaces like Dr. Engber was talking about, of going in there to study. I can't tell you how many times I'll be in there late at night for a meeting or something, and I see students in there and they're studying together at tables and they're writing on the whiteboards. And it's just an amazing space to see students come together who are like-minded. And it's just a phenomenal the program that we have. And I'm so excited that you all were able to share just a tidbit. You can tell I'm fangirl. I'm a fan over here. But all in all, Andrew couldn't have said it better, is that if at all you have any interest or desire to be challenged, have that conversation. Because all it takes is, hey, let me test drive this for a semester and see how it goes. And that could really be life-changing for so many students. Like Dr. Engber said, there are so many opportunities outside of the classroom that many of our students never would have an opportunity to take advantage of had it not been for our Cohen Honors College. And so don't be afraid to take that first step to, send that email, make a connection, stop Andrew from drinking that fruit-infused water at orientation.
Why is that a bad thing? I don't know.
All in all, that support is there, though. And so any other questions that we may have? There it is. Any other questions that we have from our guests tonight, or maybe last comments that we would like to share?
Yeah, I have one more question. Since all students have to take a first year seminar, are there still honors sections of a first year seminar? Is that a good way to try it out? There may be some students who are in there. Just kind of, what does that first year seminar and the honors college look like? That might be something that students want to consider, maybe switching up a schedule or maybe not, depending on what their schedule's like.
Yes, we do still have seats in the first year seminars, and as with many things honors, the approach, well, as Andrew said, there's some increase in breadth or depth or complexity. It will depend on the faculty person. So we have actually 2 sections that are taught by Dr. Kevin Harrison that are about community and cultural connections. And he particularly welcomes any student who's interested in honors, and he will work you to try to get you to join honors, let me tell you. So, but he also, what he's really, really interested in is figuring out what really drives you as a student. And he comes at that from his varied background as well. So he, in addition to being a professor in honors, is a musician, a pretty mean saxophone player, right? So we're talking about people who really want to know the whole person. And I know there are seats still available in his first year seminars. We have a seminar, a first year seminar by Dr. Carolyn Shaw, who's in political science, which is called Me and My Place in the World. She connects you to a colleague who is international and a group of international students, and engages you in some dialogue with those students in the midst of the work that you're doing within the first year seminar. I have one that's about discovering humanity. Because I'm a literature professor, I want to engage you with some novels and with a little bit of philosophy. And then I want to turn you loose on some questions that are really some interesting questions for you, bring you back together and engage you in that process of just asking really interesting questions and continuing to just ask questions. So I focus a lot on that process of asking interesting questions, starting with the big question of what does it mean to be human? And then we have a seminar by Keith Pickus, which is a first year seminar that's somewhat related to the seminar that we talked about, the History Beyond the Headlines seminar. So he's looking at contemporary questions and then what some of the historical kinds of backgrounds are for those contemporary questions. I could talk for a long time about what's happening in the first year seminars. So we have a lot of options, and we invite students definitely to consider that as their gateway into the honors experience.
And that would count as their one required course for the year. And yeah, okay,
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Meets that honors topic seminar requirement right there. And it also, if you need to take a first year class, there you go.
Yeah, it's great.
I would say too, I'll make one more comment too, is that, we get the opportunity to take students to our national and then our regional college or honors college council conferences. And we last November we went to Chicago, and this year actually it's going to be in Kansas City, the national one, and then our regional one is 1 year it's in Texas somewhere, and 1 year it's not. But it just kind of goes back and forth. But one student, I will say, we were talking, and they were like, you know what, I just sat there and I rode on an Uber from the airport to our hotel in Chicago, and had this in-depth conversation with the dean. And then the student was like, I don't think I've ever talked to my academic college dean, like once, and then they were a senior. So again, it's that access to the folks in the honors college that kind of adds to your experience.
And to just underscore that, we work with all of the deans, and it is very difficult sometimes to sometimes get that student to faculty, and I wouldn't even call it student to faculty, it's person to person, right? Like you were saying, human to human kind of interaction and kind of this collision of ideas and questions and stuff like that you're not going to get, with the other colleges. Not that they're doing anything bad or wrong. It's just not the type of experience in the academic colleges as it is with Dean Engber and, Dr. Harrison and Andrew and all the folks over with the Honors College. So you guys do a phenomenal job, as Alicia said. So.
All right. So if there's not any other questions that are out there, I want to congratulate John K. For being tonight's winner of our lovely new Shocker Families tumbler. So that will be headed your way in your mailbox soon. So thanks for signing up and joining us tonight, John, and everybody else out there in Shocker Lands. We will be back with another family table talk coming up on the June 25th. So that is next week, where we will be talking about your Shocker health. And so for all of those who may have questions about how do I submit the meningitis form for my student living in the resident hall, and other resources in regards to resources that student health provides, our counseling and psychological services. All of that will be discussed next week, Tuesday, June 25th at 6 p.m. So don't forget to tune in. And as always, thank you for joining us this evening, and we look forward to staying connected with you. Have a great evening.
Thank you.